guys, welcome to our second session for week 3 for DS 241. Today we're going to go through the announcements, the week 1 assignment, generating files from Photoshop, and then I'll answer any questions you might have. Our next lecture is Wednesday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time. Our week 3 assignment. Now things are really getting started for you guys. You've done your wireframe, you've done your creative brief, you've done your mock-up, your websites. Everyone that I've seen so far, your websites have looked really, really good. I am so proud of you guys. You have exceeded my expectations for your first web design class. You guys have done an awesome job. So be very, very proud of yourselves. You deserve it. This week, you are going to actually create all your web pages for your website in Muse according to your mock-up. Means you're going to be generating all of your assets from Photoshop so that you can use them in your website and they're web ready for you. The assignment itself, you will discern what styling and effects can be done in Muse without importing images and what has to be imported as a PNG or JPG to Muse. This will include buttons with rounded corners, drop shadows, that sort of thing. All of that can be actually done in Muse, and so you don't have to export it that way. You're going to prepare and optimize a minimum of 3 projects that will go into your chosen slideshow widget. How to do this is shown in the tutorials for week 3's readings and tools and will be demonstrated in the live session. The actual instructions this week are to open up your wireframe document you created in week 2. You're going to do a save as, and you're going to save the file as your first name, your last name, web portfolio, in a new folder called Portfolio Website. In the master pages you created in your wireframe, you're going to remove the wireframe blocking elements and replace them with your actual graphics and images, and set the color of your navigation bar and your header area and your footer area. If you have a second master or subpage layout, you're going to do the same thing to that master. And then you're going to complete the home page. You're going to add your graphics and your color, background images if you have them, all of that good stuff, and you're going to add the copy text from the assessment that you did this week. Then you're going to complete the about and bio page, adding your images, graphics, and the copy that goes on your bio page. You're going to create your form and insert any additional copy that goes on your contact page. On the portfolio page, depending on how you laid it out, you're going to populate your slideshow with a minimum of 3 of your projects that are portfolio quality. You're going to zip and submit the Muse document for grading. The copy you're using is from the copy from your assessment. That's why I said start with your assessment this week. Next week, you're going to edit and finalize it based on the feedback you get from me. And the copy itself will not be critiqued on the assignment. I will be doing that on the assessment feedback. So you won't get any, you may get some, I'm not going to critique your copy as far as spelling and grammar and what it says, that sort of thing. And for the assignment, I will be critiquing the copy as far as the type of font you've chosen, if it's big enough, if there's enough space between your lines, that sort of thing. But I won't be critiquing the copy itself. I will do that on the assessment. Okay, guys, we're going to jump right into demo and generating your files from Photoshop and getting your Muse file started. Jump over to Photoshop, and you're going to go in, and it's going to give me a spinny. Lovely. You're going to open up your mock-up that you did. You're going to open up your mock-up, open up your layers comp. The first thing you're going to do is open that home page. Open your master page first. We'll start on the master. You're going to go down to that master folder in your layers panel down at the bottom here. And you're going to click on this little folder and expand that master folder so you can see all the layers. I always start at the bottom of my layers panel. Turn it off. That's not anything I need to export. I have this background, which are my lines. I do need to export that as an asset, as an image. So I need to change the name of it. I'm going to leave it background, but you have to add the file type that you're going to put on it. So I'm going to add .jpg and hit my enter key. So there's my background. And then I have layer 2, which is my white box. I don't need to export that. I can do that in Muse. I'm going to turn it off. Layer 3 is my footer. I'm going to turn it off. I can do that in Muse. It doesn't have to be exported. My copy text, that can be done in Muse as well. My logo, it needs to be exported. So I'm going to name it logo.jpg and leave it turned on. Navigation bar doesn't have to be exported. My LinkedIn icons, they need to be exported. So I'm going to erase the round and leave it LinkedIn, and I'm going to name it linkedin.png. Now, how do you decide between a PNG and a JPG? If it's just a simple shape like an icon, do it as a PNG. It makes your file size smaller. And as you've been learning for the past 3 weeks, the smaller your file size is, the faster your website loads. And since you guys are creating a portfolio website, you're going to have a lot of JPG images on your website in your portfolio, which means the file size of your website is going to be bigger than just a website that contains a few images and a lot of text. So everything you can export as a PNG, your colored graphics that are just a solid color and it's a graphic, export that as a PNG. Your social media icons, export them as PNGs. Now your logo, if it's multiple colored like mine is and has some effects on it, export it as a JPG. It'll look better. Any of your actual images need to be exported as JPGs. I'm not exporting the privacy policy, so I can turn it off. Here's my Twitter. I'm going to erase that rounded and add the .png. My Facebook. .png. Now, some of you have a colored background and you're putting icons on top of it. You guys are going to have to do your icons a little differently. Since you linked them, they should all be smart files, which means you're going to have to double click on your little icon. Let me go see if it'll open. If you brought it from your Creative Cloud, you may have to go to Layers, go to Smart Object, and do Convert to Smart Object. And then you're going to get that little disk icon. You're going to double click that icon, and you're going to have to go to File, and then, oops, you're going to have to go to, hold on, my Photoshop is deciding to think. You're going to have to go to File, and go to Export, and you're going to save for Web Legacy, because you're going to need it to be transparent if you're putting it into a colored footer or onto a colored background. It needs to be transparent. Otherwise, it's going to have a white background on it, and that's not what you want. So you're going to have to save for Web Legacy, change it to a PNG 24, and put a check mark next to transparency, and then hit Save. But if your background is white or your footer area is white, you can do it just like I'm doing here in my Layers panel. So now I've got my master page completed. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize that. Go to my Layers comp, or just turn on my home page will work. I'm going to turn on my home folder and open the folder that has my home files in it. Let's open these up. I have several pictures I need to export for my slideshow that's on my home page. So this is the printing. So I'm going to erase that all together. I'm going to type home, banner 3.jpg. And then I have the responsive web design banner. I'm going to do the same. I'm going to keep the same naming, home banner 2.jpg. No spaces between your words and your file name, guys, or they will not import correctly and they won't show up when you go live. Make sure there are no spaces. And then the first one. So home banner 1.jpg. And that does it for my home files. I'm going to turn it off. My portfolio page, I don't think has any, oh yes it does. It has plenty of graphics on it. And I have quite a few graphics on this page, but the reality is these are thumbnails because when the user clicks on them, they're going to be much bigger. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these layers. I'm going to go to layer, I'm going to go to smart object, and I'm going to convert them to smart objects. Oops, I'm going to need to do them one at a time. Layer, smart object, convert. And then I'm going to double click on that smart object. And I'm going to change the image size. Image size. Check my inches. Right now, it's not too bad. It's 4.083 inches. I want to make that a little bit bigger. I'm going to change the width to 7. I'm going to hit OK. And save it. There's the image. And I'm going to name it, it's already called Wedding Invitation, which is fine. I'm going to add the JPG after it and close it. And then I have my engage. I'm going to do the same thing. Layer, smart object, convert to smart object, double click it, go to image, image size, and I want to change that one as well. I'm going to change it to 7. Close it, save it, and it's bigger on my screen here. Double click it and add that .jpg after it, and turn it off, do the next one. Layer, smart object, convert to smart object. Double click it, image, image size, 7. Close it, save it. Pull it on my artboard. Oops. I'm going to pull it over on my artboard so it doesn't accidentally cut it off when it generates it. Got JPG and turn it off. And this one is a logo. The layer, smart object, convert to smart object. Double click it, image, image size, 7. Close it, save it. And I need to rename this one, so I'm going to do cupcake logo.jpg and turn that layer off. Layer, smart object, convert to smart object. Double click it. Image, image size, 7. save. .jpg, turn it off. And this is the Rix logo. Layer, smart object, convert to smart object. Double click it. Image, image size, 7. Save it. Move it up on my artboard. Add the .jpg after it. Turn it off. And this one is, that's an empty layer. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. You can delete it. Layer 7. It's just a white box. I'm going to delete it. And here's the hat. Okay, layer, smart object, convert. Double click it. Image, image size, 7. Save. Move it over on my artboard. And add the .jpg. Turn it off. And this is my senior's handout business card. Layer, smart object, convert. Double click it. Image, image size. And we're at 7 there. I'm going to go ahead and even out that and make it 8. Hit save. Double click it and add the .jpg. Turn it off. And then my brochure. Layer, smart object, convert. Double click it. Image, image size. I'm going to change the width to 7. Okay. Close, save. And add the .jpg at the end of it. And now I'm going to go back and I'm going to turn on all these layers. And close that portfolio folder and turn it off. Then I'm going to turn on the about. Expand that folder. Turn on all the layers that belong in the about screen. Oops. And let's see, there's my image. I want to export that. So it has my name here. I'm going to take out this little dash and add the .jpg at the end of it. Turn off all about me. Turn off that fill text. This is my graphic. I'm going to change the name of it. I'm just going to do about graphic.jpg. Rectangle, that doesn't need to be on. So that's everything on my about page that needs to be exported or generated. So I'm going to turn off that about. And then we have the contact page. Turn on all of these layers. Don't think I have any, oops. Don't think I have any graphics that need to go. I'm going to use the widget for my Skype call button. So I don't have anything in the contact that needs to be changed. I don't need to add a JPG or PNG to any of that. So now I'm going to turn back on all of these layers, and it all looks jumbled. That's fine. I'm going to go to File, Save As. And my Photoshop is thinking again. Come on. And it's in my 241 folder, which is fine. Just want to make sure you know where it's saved, because it's going to generate an assets folder inside the same folder that this PSD is saved in. So make sure you know where it's saved. I'm just going to hit replace. Now then, to generate those assets, you're going to go to File. You're going to go to Generate, and you're going to click on Image Assets. Now, if you open your Finder, let me switch over so you guys can see my Finder. And you go into the folder where that PSD was saved, which is right there. You'll see a new folder. It's going to say DS241 Assignment 2 Misty Forge Assets. And there are all of the graphics I just generated from my PSD mockup. Looks like my hat image is cut off. Well, maybe not. It may just be that. Nope, it looks cut off there. So I need to go back to Photoshop real quick. Let's go back to Photoshop. I want to click on this hot image. I'm going to move it over some more. Let's find this file. Double click on my smart object. If it looks fine there. Save. File, generate. I'm going to uncheck my image assets and then recheck it. So it'll update my hat photo. There we go. And now my hat photo looks fine. I just needed to move it over a little bit more. So you're going to want to go through each one of your images once they're generated and make sure there's not any kind of adjustment you need to do. Because occasionally when you export an asset, generate an asset like that from Photoshop, it will accidentally cut it off. If that happens, all you need to do is move the image over on your artboard a little bit and then regenerate those images and it will cut it off. So that all looks good. Any questions on generating your assets? It's pretty simple. Just remember, your layer names must include the file name, and there cannot be any spaces in that file name. So your layers, each one of your layer names, for each one of those graphics, like the brochure I did here, come on, go back to Photoshop. There we go. Can you guys see my Photoshop now? Okay, like this layer here, in order to generate this brochure, you have to change the layer name, and it must include the file name. So I called it brochure.jpg. Every single layer that you need to export the image for must end in a file name, a .jpg, .png, whichever it may be. On my icons, I made them all .png. And I called them what they were: LinkedIn.png, Twitter.png, Facebook.png. Any questions on exporting your assets? No questions? Okay, then we're going to jump over to Muse now. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to open up my wireframe that we did last week.
Misty, can you hear me? I'm sorry.
What was that? Can you say that again? So you're going to open up your wireframe from last week. And I'm thinking again, here we go. Okay, so you have your wireframe up. The first thing you're going to do is open up that master page and start replacing your stuff. You have these black placeholders, and you're going to start replacing those with your actual images and the things you need. Well, I know I need a background image. I'm going to go up to my fill box, and I'm going to do add image. I'm going to go to my desktop, go to that 241 folder where my assets are generated, and find that background JPG. And I'm going to hit open. And I want to center it like that. So there's my background. Original size, I want to scale to fill. So I want to make sure it fills that screen no matter what size it is. And then I'm going to delete the little circle I have for my logo and go to File, go to Place, and find my logo. Open it. Click on my screen. There's my logo. Looks like I need to make my header just a little bit bigger. So I'm going to pull that, I'm going to make that adjustment, because remember, anything that's in your header needs to be between the first two blue lines. And then I need to work on my navigation bar. And I need to put that background white. We forgot my box. So I'm going to grab my square tool. I need to make the box that goes behind my header area here. I'll fill it with white. Grab my arrow, right click, bring, send it back. So it's behind everything. And I need to add a drop shadow on it. You can go up to Effects, right on that top menu bar, and I'm going to put check marks next to shadow. Distance is a little far for me, so I'm going to turn that down a little bit, like that. And I'm going to adjust this opacity. I don't want it quite so dark. There we go. And now I need to work on my navigation bar. Now that my logo is on here, it needs to be adjusted a little bit. And I want to change my type of text. I'm going to go down and change it to Helvetica. And I want it to be bold, like that. And then I need to change to my rollover color. Now, I demonstrated this in week 1, but we will demonstrate it again just as a refresher. You're going to click on your navigation bar and then click again, so you select just one of those squares. And right here, right up here is your menu item, and right now it says normal. I'm going to click where it says normal, and I'm going to change it to rollover. Now, change my color to gray. I want to turn that off because my color, my box itself, I don't want it to turn. I want my text to change colors. And I'm going to grab my eyedropper. I want it the same shade of pink that's in my logo. Like that. And then I'm going to click roll over and go down to mouse down, turn the color off. Click mouse down, go down to active, turn the color off. And on active, I want it to be pink as well. So I'm going to grab my eyedropper and do pink again. And maybe my mouse down color, I could make it a little different. We change it to blue. But you'll notice, so now I have normal, black, roll over pink, mouse down blue, active, pink as well. So I'm going to turn it back to normal, and it will automatically change every single button in your navigation. So I'm going to preview that just to check it real quick. I roll over it and get home. If I hold my mouse button down, it turns blue. If I click on the actual button, it's going to open that home page and it's pink the way it's supposed to. So I'm going to close the preview and go back to my master page. I need to finish putting in my social media icons. So I'm simply going to delete these off of here. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Place. Now I need my icons. So let's see. There's my Twitter icon. Going to hold my command key down and select the LinkedIn icon, hold my command key down and select the Facebook icon. So I select all 3 of them. And I'm going to hit open. Now you notice my cursor, the image is attached, and there's a little number showing that I have 3 images attached there. So I'm going to place my first one, Facebook, and then my second one, LinkedIn, and then Twitter. And then I'm going to arrange these the way they need to be. Put these over here. Open my alignment tools, selection, distribute spacing, make sure they're even. And it looks like my footer area, that looks pretty good. I need to add my white box down there. I'm going to add a little bit of space in this footer area like that. Grab my square tool. Draw my box across here. Make it white. Right click, bring, send it back. And make sure the check mark is next to footer. I'm going to check all my images too. Yes, yes. Okay, now we need to talk about your resizing. You notice when I click on one of these social media icons, your bar up here kind of changes a little bit. And it has this resize option. If you click that drop down, it'll say responsive width and height. I don't want my icons to change sizes. They're already small, so I don't want them to be any smaller on the tablet or the cell phone version because it'll be harder to click on with a finger. So I'm going to mark it as none. I'm going to do all of those icons like that. I'm going to do my logo to none. I don't want my logo any smaller. Everything else can adjust or resize to be responsive. But my logo and my icons are already the size I want them, and I want them that size on all 3 screen sizes. So there's my master page. So now I've done the master. It shows up on all my pages. I'm going to open that home page. Now I need to put together this home page file. This is the slideshow, and since I used a widget, it's ready for me to just place the images. I'm going to click on the widget, click on the little blue circle that appears in the top right-hand corner, and then I'm going to click on the Add Images folder. And I need to add my banner images. So I'm going to select them all and hit open. There are all of my banner images. Now let's see. I want to add my first and previous buttons here for just a second so that previous and next buttons. Where'd they go? Right here. So I can flip through these. There's my first image. There's the second one. There's the third one. That works. So I'm going to go back, click on this little circle. I want to take off those buttons because I don't want them on my slideshow. It will just be automatic. And my slideshow needs to come down just a little bit because I want to make sure the drop shadow shows under there. I'm going to have to adjust this page just a little bit like that. And then I have my icons for my circles. Now, I don't think that we actually generated those from Photoshop. I don't remember doing that. Let's go back to Photoshop. Oh, not Illustrator. There it is. Let's go back to my Photoshop file. And I'm going to turn off the contact, the about, the portfolio. There's my home. And I did not generate them. They're down here. So I'm going to turn off all this text. And this is the web design. I click it. Web.jpg. This is the apparel.jpg. Turn off all that text. And this is the printing. Print.jpg. File, generate, make sure my image assets are on. It's on, so it automatically did those pictures as I changed the file name. So back to Muse we go. And I'm going to delete those off of here. And go to File, Place. And there's the apparel, but it's not first. My print is first. And then the apparel, then the web. I'm going to hit open. That's the apparel. It goes in the center. There's the print. There's the web. So I'm going to adjust these across my page. Select them all. Go to my alignment tools, make sure they're even, make sure they're spaced out appropriately. And then I have this text box I can get rid of now. I'm going to drag my footer down so I have some room here. And it's time to add some copy. So I'm going to pull up the Word document that I did yesterday as the example of your website copy. Come on. Having so much stuff open while trying to record my screen is slowing down my computer really badly, guys. Sorry about that. While we're waiting on that to catch up, I'm going to add my drop shadow to those images. I want this to be really small. Now, you see what's happened? I'm going to turn that shadow back off. Because these were not exported as JPG, because they were exported as JPGs, they're not actually circles. So how can you fix that? Well, if you have a circle image that got exported as a square, if you click on that and select the image at the top, we're just going to change it so it forms a circle. I'm going to turn that up. Until it matches what's supposed to be my circle image. There we go. Now, turn the shadow on. It's supposed to be 8. 2, 3. Like that. Oh, it's set at 95. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to do this one. Click, 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 and turn it into rounded corners. And just change that to 95. Hit my enter key. Turn on my drop shadow. Distance should be 3. And do the same thing with this one. Doesn't look like 95. I still have a white. Let's try 100. That did it. So let's change this one to 100 too. There we go. This one, rounded corners, 100. Effects, drop shadow, distance 3. Okay, now my Word document has caught up with us. I'm going to open the Word document I did yesterday, the copywriting for the assessment. And here's my home page. There's the print design. I'm going to copy it, grab my type tool, and make a text box. I'm going to paste print design in there. Grab my black arrow. Now I need to set up some graphic styles. So I'm going to click on my text box first. And here's where you do the tags that I was talking about yesterday, right here in your text panel. It should be an H1 tag for headline. How about now? Okay. Let me open my text panel here. I'm going to grab it out on my screen. There we go. And it disappears when I try to draw on it. Okay, guys, in your text panel, select that text box. Right here is where you choose your tags. That is supposed to be an H1 tag. So I'm going to change it to read H1. And it should, of course, be bigger. H1 is a large tag. So I'm going to set it to 24 point, and I want it to be bold, and I want it centered. And I want it to be Helvetica instead of Arial. So now that that's set, I'm going to go over here to my paragraph styles. And I'm going to create a new one. Open it. It copied that. That's exactly what I want. And I'm simply going to call it H1. I'll close my text box now. Now I can grab my type tool, and I need to make my next one. My next heading is apparel. I'm going to copy it from my Word document, paste it in here. My arrow, click on H1, And it will automatically change that to an H1 tag for me. And this is web design. Now I need to make sure everything's aligned the way it's supposed to be. So I'm going to select all of these and open my alignment tool, and I'm going to align to the bottom. And then I'm going to deselect them. I'm going to select the print design. I'm going to select the photo right above it. And then I'm going to click on that photo a second time so I get the dark blue outline. And over in my alignment tools, I want to center it horizontally. I'm going to make sure it puts print design right underneath it. I'm going to do the same thing to each one of these. So now I need to work on my paragraph text that goes under each one. So grab my type tool. And I'm going to make a little paragraph box there. And go to my Word document and copy the text that's supposed to go there, which I've designated it as an H4. Because it's more important than just plain text. Now I'm going to space this out a little bit more. So we're going to have to make some adjustments to the way everything's on here, but I didn't want that box so narrow and long. I'm going to open up my text box again to go to Windows, go to text. I dragged it out of my sidebar there. And 14 points, I want to bring it down to 12, I think. And I want to increase the leading, which is this nice little percent area right here. So I want to space that out a little bit. That looks good. So now I'm going to select all three of these. Go back and select that text box. Go to Align. And I want to center it above that text box, just like that. So it's going to make a small adjustment to everything, but it looks much better. Now, this text box, I need to decide whether or not it would look better. Justified. Let's go into preview for just a second and look at that. That's justified, but there's a little more space between each letter than I actually want. So I'm going to change it back to that. Yes, I like it better, just left aligned. Okay, so now I want to make sure that every one of my text boxes is the exact same size. So I'm simply going to copy and paste this text box. And paste it again. And put it over here. And just this last one.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Will your, when you paste in your other apparel and web design, will the text box change if the content is bigger than the text?
Well, you may have to scale the text box. If you put too much text in it, you'll have to make it bigger.
Okay.
Okay, so now I need to create my text. This is supposed to be an H4, so I need to change my tag. It's going to be an H4. Everything else is fine. I want to change that to Helvetica instead of Arial. And make a new paragraph style. And I'm going to call it H4. And I'm going to click on all of these boxes and change that to H4. and go back to my Word document and copy the paragraphs that are supposed to be in each one of those boxes. So for apparel, I'm just going to highlight all of that and paste the new content. Okay. There's that one. And then for web design, copy, select, paste. And I'm going to grab a guide because I want to make sure these end even. Looks like my middle one and my far one don't quite end even. I'm going to make those just a little bit bigger. Just going to make a slight adjustment. All it needs is one little bitty adjustment there. Let's see. 996715. Change this one, 996. For the same size. Yes. So that works. Now select all three of these, align, make sure they're distributed correctly. That looks good. My text boxes don't appear to be even though, so I'm going to align those to the bottom. There we go. So there's my home page. So let's take a look at it in preview. Not too bad, but I have an issue with my slideshow here. Let's go to view, zoom out, there we go. I want to make this slideshow all the way to the corner of my screen. Resize, stretch the browser width, yes. And so I'm going to select all this stuff at the bottom here and just pull it down a little bit. I'm going to group it so I can make sure it's perfectly centered. Content area, center, yes. Okay. So now if I preview it, that looks much better. And that's it for my home page. Okay, as far as the home screen, since I seem to have missed do it when we display our services, do we need to break it down to our separate services? It doesn't necessarily have to be completely separate. I separated mine into 3 categories: print design, apparel, web design. Print design, of course, includes all your print products, postcards, flyers, logos, and I kind of talked about that in my description. The most common types of print design finished products are brochures, outdoor banners, vinyl wraps, business cards, flyers, things like that. And so I kind of broke it down like that. Do you have to break it down just like I did? No, it's your website. Break it down the way you want it broken down. So that does it for the home page. Now, the portfolio page. I'm going to skip the portfolio page tonight because that's going to be part of tomorrow's lecture, is doing your portfolio page and downloading a third-party widget for those of you that set up a gallery that has different size images. That's going to require a third-party widget in order to get that to be, so they can click it and it get big so they can actually really see it. So I'm going to skip the portfolio page tonight. We will do it in tomorrow's lecture. And we're going to go to the About page. I'm going to delete my placeholder stuff. File, place, and I need my image and my graphic. Hit open. There's my About graphic. I'm going to put it down there. My image goes up here. And I need to curve that. It needs to be curved a little more. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to make it a little smaller than I had it on my mock-up. And I'm going to move it over here. I'm going to move this over here. Okay, then according to my copyright on my About page, there's a hi, I'm Misty Porch as a heading 1. So I'm going to copy that, grab my type tool, make a text box, paste it. Paragraph styles, H1. And then my type tool and my bio is going to go in here. Go back to my copyright and select all that. Paste it. And now I need to set the text for that. Paragraph tag, that's what it's supposed to be. Change it to Helvetica. Increase my leading quite a bit. There we go. And I want to bump this down just a little bit. This down just a little bit. Select these both. Align that to the center. Let's go around the edge. We're a little closer to this edge than we are over here. So I'm going to select these two things and move them over just a tad. Like that. And let's take a look at the preview of my About page. That looks pretty good. I'm going to bump this Facebook box down just a little bit though. Now, this is what the preview screen is really good for, is checking your alignment. Make sure everything looks good. I think that looks okay. So that does it for the About page. And then we have the contact page. I'm going to skip the contact page too because we're going to go over it tomorrow and work on our contact form widget along with our portfolio. So my last page is my privacy policy. And on my privacy policy, I had a graphic across the bottom, didn't I? I didn't mock up my privacy policy page, so we'll copy. I'm going to paste my heading. Paragraph style H1. There's my privacy policy. And delete that. Copy my paragraph from my privacy policy. paste it. Paragraph style. I didn't copy my paragraph style. Let's go back to my about page. Click on about. I'm going to add a new paragraph style there. And I'm just going to do it as a p tag. Now then, privacy policy. There we go. And now I need to add a graphic to this page. Just a little bit. Now I happen to have something in my Creative Cloud library I can use down there at the bottom. So that's what we're going to use there. I think I will use the little hand design graphic here. Definitely it's a little too big at this point, but I'm going to scale it down. I'm going to hold my shift key down and I'm going to scale it to match my page. View, page and window. It's a little skewed though. Resize, responsive height and width. Let's see what this looks like. I think that looks okay. There's my privacy policy. So overall, there is my web page. Let's click on home. That's good. Portfolio hasn't been done yet. The about, that looks good. Contact hasn't been done yet. Privacy policy, that looks pretty good. Any questions on this point, this part so far, guys? That is getting your basic graphics on everything except for your portfolio and your contact page. Tomorrow, we will be going over your portfolio and your contact page so we can go over some more widgets that you may need to be using and go over the third-party widgets for making a grid, a gallery type portfolio page so that when the user clicks on one of those small thumbnails, it blows up and gets big. We will look at that third-party widget tomorrow, and I will show you some other third-party widgets that you can download just to add some stuff to your website and make it a little more interactive for your users. So if we don't have any questions, then we will call it a night and pick up again tomorrow.
Misty, I'm sorry. I have a few questions, but I am trying to switch over to my computer because I have been driving this whole time. And I was wondering if you might hold for just a few more seconds while I run to the house and open my computer up. Almost there.
Okay. Uh-oh, I think we lost her. There she is.
Okay, Misty. I'm quite sure I'm going to have to listen to this all over again, which is not a problem to me. I enjoy hearing you. I have completely missed the mark, I guess, with the second assignment. And I've been trying to catch up, but not a lot of people in Shark are there during the times that I need, or know, or as knowledgeable as you are in the subject. So, yeah.
Okay, let me stop sharing you. Share your screen with me so I can see what you're working on.
Okay.
You're still needing help with the layer comps?
That and basically understanding what exactly you want in it. Can you see what's going on here?
Yeah, I can see it. Okay.
All right, here we go. For some weird reason, and I've also have been listening and have found some things that are not good ideas to do, and have to go back and change some things, but I didn't want to do that until I put my assignment out, because then I would be later than normal. So
Okay, that's fine.
Obviously there are layers here that did not come over, and of course on my portfolio page, it's not. I think you just
yeah. Go
yes.
back to your home page. Turn on the. We're missing a layer, aren't we? Find the layer in your layers panel and turn it on for that first square. What's supposed to be there?
That's one that I have to put in, but I was afraid to go back and try and.
Okay, well, what's going to happen when you place it in there? You're going to turn that layer. You're going to get on your layer comps. You're going to turn on the home page, put it in there. Make sure that layer is visible. And at the bottom of your screen of that layer comp panel, at the very bottom of it, see the refresh button? You're going to hit that refresh button, and it will automatically save that image to the home page layer comp.
Okay.
So you're going to put it in there. Make sure you're on the home page. Layer comp, make sure it's turned on, place the image, and then hit the refresh button.
Okay.
So do you have the image already made to place in there?
I can put I can slip something in there.
Okay, just put something in there for now, and I'll show you how it works.
All right. And this is how I've been doing it. I don't think it's the right way, because my images don't look wonderful when I put them on desktop. All files. We'll try this one just for now. Oh, I didn't hold that right. Let's do undo, and let's shift. Oh.
There you go. Now hit your enter key and accept it. Now in the layer comps panel, with home page selected, hit your refresh button. It's selected already, it's highlighted. Hit your refresh button. And now it's on your home page. So now go back to master and turn it on. and go back to home page. There you go.
Awesome. Okay.
And you do that for all of the pages. So you would turn off that home and go to the one you want, your portfolio page. You had stuff to add there. So you turn on your portfolio page, place your images, and then just hit that refresh button at the bottom.
Okay. All right. As far as, where is it? Print page that didn't come over.
Do you have your stuff already in Photoshop for your print page? Turn those layers on.
Turn those layers on. Print. And I guess I'm not sure.
All the layers are turned off. See, next to the layer, you've got 2 folders. That's fine. Just turn on all of those layers.
Let me move this over so I can see what is there. What's not. Okay. And I remember you saying not to label it. Is that what you mean? Don't label it because it's enough?
Well, you can label them. It's totally up to you on what you want. I just didn't label mine. Okay, so once that's up, you're going to go over and hit your refresh button in your Layers Comp panel. Now, click on your portfolio page. Turn it on. And then go back down and click on print page. Yeah, there it is.
I gotta do some different color because it kind of jumps from one color to the next.
Right, I kind of like that. It kind of matches your logo.
Okay, all right. So I think I figured that part out. But when I do the PDF, when submitting my assignment for this week, I guess what I was trying to say is, remember how I was telling you that some of my layers have like on, not the print page, on the services page, where it has multiple like layers. The service page, where's service page? Is it? Yeah, like of course, like it has lots of different, probably can't see all of those yet, but they'll start popping in. Yeah, I have lots of different layers because you click on this one and you click on that one and then those things.
Right. And you're just gonna want to, you just want to turn all of those off except for the first one that's showing. And then when you generate your assets, you'll turn them all on. I showed you how to do that in the lecture, the beginning of the lecture today, because I have my banner on my homepage has multiple images. And I had them all in Photoshop, but for the mock-up, I just had one of them on. So you just turn them all off except for one set. That's going to be in that first tab. And then just hit your refresh button in your services page.
Okay, I'm looking for the text. Maybe that's it. There it is. No. Looking for the text on my tabs. There they are. And I see some messy stuff.
Oh, yeah. You can turn the text for your tabs on. It looks like you have an additional text box on though.
Logo text.
Your paragraph text looks like it has, there you go. So leave the text on for your buttons, which is fine. You need to click on photo manipulation, find that, the text layer for photo manipulation. For the tab see the tab that says photo manipulation, it needs to be bumped up a little bit. The text in that tab. So you have to find that layer and use your up arrow to bump it up because it's already in a folder. So find the layer that says photo manipulation.
I'm sorry, the button.
It's probably up.
That's services. I see what you're saying in my services tab.
Should be a text layer. No, it'll be turned on already because you can see it on your artboard. Your last screen tab, see where it says photo manipulation?
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's not. So that's not it. That's a square. You can clearly see that text. That's not it.
It may be below it. Keep scrolling down. Maybe you'll find it.
I think maybe I have it in some other.
Right. Oh, it might have been right down there at the bottom where all those layers were turned on.
Right at the bottom. No.
No, you passed it, I think. Go back up. Oh, back down just a little bit.
Back down. Nope. I'm going too far.
It's going to be on the layer that has a T, and it's going to say photo manipulation. Grab your selection arrow. Let's see if it'll let you select it.
If on one thing, I might need to take it off and make it a separate.
Is it all inside one text box?
Yeah, that's.
Click on that layer and turn it off. Yeah, it is. Yeah, you may have to make photo manipulation a separate text box because see how it's cutting it off?
Yep.
And just bump it up a little bit. Otherwise, this looks fine. You're just going to need to make sure you refresh on your services page once you fix that. Otherwise, it won't save the change.
Got it.
On your layers comp, once you fix this page, make sure you hit that refresh button.
Okay. When could, I know that, is there any way we can go through the, how you want it submitted? Like if I were to submit this right now.
You would go up to File, and you're going to go to Export.
Yeah,
Oh, I have to grab your selection arrow. Your four corner arrow. There you go. Now go to File, go to Export, and you would do Layer Comps to PDF. And it will generate each one of those as a page.
Okay, I've done this earlier today, but what happened was because I didn't have all of these items selected, of course it gave me the blank pages.
Hit run. Yeah, hit run. Let's make sure it's working correctly. This document contains nested layer groups that may not change in appearance if opened in application older than CS6. You shouldn't have anything open and hit OK. Let's make sure everything comes through. Click Don't Show again. Now go into your Finder and open up that PDF. It's going to be in the same spot where you have the PSD saved.
It's another problem I'm having. I need to, because I wanted to have multiple copies, I think I tried to save it too many places.
That might be it. And there's your master page. It's going to be blank. So go over and flip through it. See those little flip arrows down there? Oh, hit no.
No.
Yeah, hit no. Otherwise, it'll take up your entire screen. Now you've got 9 pages. Hit your down arrow. There you go. It starts with your master page, which is going to be blank.
Got it. Okay. And I remember you saying no email.
Right. You don't want your email on your website. Phone number is fine, but no email.
No email. Got it. All right. I should put text here instead of this, correct?
Yep, that's fine.
All righty then. Thank you so much.
It looks
And
really cute, Karen. I love the design. You've done a great job there.
thank you.
And
Thank
you're
you.
gonna have to export your little images for like your navigation bar.
Mhm.
You're gonna have to export that as a JPG so that you can actually put it there.
Okay. Are you still recording?
And your little green that has the little chunks taken out of it.
Yep.
Your green navigation bar, yes, you're gonna have to those two. You're gonna have to export all of those as JPGs. So you're gonna have to generate assets because you can't actually do that in Muse. So those will have to be generated as assets.
Got it.
In that bottom, the divider between your footer and your main content, that green bar,
This right here.
yes, that will be generated as you can do it as a PNG to keep your file size small since it's just one solid color.
Okay. So here, here, and here is what I need to.
And the one at the top for your navigation bar.
Okay.
You won't export your text, but you will export the navigation bar itself across between your header and your main content, that green bar across the top.
Okay.
You will export that green bar without the text.
Got it. Will do. Will do. All righty. I've got my work cut out for me.
Okay.
I'm glad that you're feeling better.
Yes, much, much better. Thank you.
All righty. Well, you have a good one.
You too, Karen. I'll see you later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, then we will call it an evening and pick up tomorrow at 2. Sean, do you have any questions?